What's up, y'all? Santi again. I know it's been a while. I'm sorry. Been going through a lot of changes. It is definitely a transition period right now. I mean, all throughout the end of 2017 into the beginning of 2018 has been so many, changes and things that are pushing us towards transformation and bettering ourselves and just pushing us out of our comfort zone for us to kind of test and gauge, where we should be, if we are aligned with our soul journey and our soul path. And so a lot of us have been shaken up, but in a good way. It's not always a bad thing for change. When one thing ends, another thing begins. And so we have to always understand that these cycles that we go through are prominent, so important in our growth and our understanding of life and just understanding ourselves. And that's what life is about. Every day, just digging deep to figure out, deeper and deeper about who we are, and our purpose and why are we here for. So, to make a long story short, I wanted to do a quick reading because it's been a while and I think we all need it. And literally, it's been on my heart for a while, and I've continued to just, I almost obsess about things when I need to do something, and especially when I don't do it, then it just, I become obsessed. And I wake up thinking about it, I go to sleep thinking about it. So I think that it's overdue as far as this reading goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're just going to go ahead and pull. I'm going to do a quick 3-card reading just to give us some insight. Okay, I'm going to ask for guidance and just to give us wisdom and give us the messages that we are in need of to hear to keep us in tune with our purpose and our inner selves and our higher selves. And so the messages that come through are going to be in regards to what energies can we use and embrace to uplift us and to empower us and to put us in that place where we want to be at in life. So we're going to go ahead and pull these cards here. I'm going to shuffle just a little bit more. Okay. In the meantime, like I said before, we are moving through this transition cycle where, a lot of things, especially just with it being the new year, of course, it comes with change. It comes with, new goals, new things that we want to accomplish. And so in that being said, that also makes us realize that some things need to change in our lives. Like some of the habits that we've created are not always the best habits in pushing us towards our greatness. So in this transition period is also something that's important for all of us to embrace the change, embrace the differences that are coming about. That's making us reflect and see what it is that we do want and those things that we don't want. And it's allowing us to take those things and move them out of our way so that way we can get closer to the things that are going to catapult us into, like I said, being closer to our higher selves. So we started off with the High Priestess, and the High Priestess represents our intuition. It represents our being in tune with the universe, being in tune with our spirit guides, being in tune with, the higher powers that be and that, we can tap into to give us guidance and to, allow us to manifest our reality, because the High Priestess has the power to follow their intuition. Sometimes this can represent you being in tune with your intuition. It can also represent you knowing, having another thing about uh, knowing is it's almost like you don't have to guess. Like when you know something, it is for sure. There is no question. And so this can also represent just clarity, coming to an understanding in who you are, embracing the spirituality. A lot of times we steer away from spirituality. We steer away from things that we don't see and we don't understand. So in that way, um, this card is saying, don't do that. Don't allow um, those things that you are very clear in understanding about yourself or about situations. Always follow that intuition, that feeling of knowing. So that's what the high priestess is all about. So, you know, when in relation to the following card that we have here is the King of Cups, which the King of Cups is representative of emotion. The element of water, which is, like I said, it's emotion, it's passion, it's love, it's relationships. Um, so with this being the King of Cups, the King of Cups can be really intense with emotion. Like emotions can be really intense. You can be going through a lot or feeling a lot right now, which is very, um, relevant to be feeling that way right now, considering, the other elements that affect us, which is like, the alignments as far as the stars and the moon and the zodiacs that are placed in our natal charts and things like that. Like, it can make us super intense. And so, we do see that we do have this moon right here, very big, huge in the background. And if you look at him, he's in a place of contemplation, and he's sitting there. So my thing is, this is like a review of your emotions, and but also being aware of your emotions and knowing the influence of that moon and how it can affect our emotions from time. Like, we don't always connect the dots when it comes to the way that we are connected to the universe. I don't think people fully grasp that concept of if the moon is out. Like, I know that it's a little old school, and they call it superstitious to believe in the moon, but I think everybody has had their own personal experience with the moon and seeing its own personal effects on our own selves. So, with the King of Cups, he is the master of his emotions, though. So, even though he may be contemplating on them and reflecting on them, we as people have to be able to do that and be the observer of our emotions and not be the person that just simply acts of our emotions. We, reflect on them. We observe how we're feeling so we can make those adjustments in ourselves if need be, because ultimately our minds is what leads the way. Our minds is what um, our emotions react off of, our thoughts. So the King of Cups is saying, be in control of your emotions, no matter what the elements or whatever the moon or whatever the universe is doing. If we stay in control of those emotions, we will always be in control of our lives, okay? So it's pretty powerful with having the High Priestess, which is being the major arcana card. This is a very prevalent thing right now, with it being in relation to intuition, in relation to emotions, in relation to being in control and trusting how you feel and trusting your inner self. So that is what that's all about. So, in the Seven of Pentacles, which Pentacles is the earth element represents the physical realm, the things that you can manifest and bring into this physical existence. It can represent your career. It can represent just all physical manifestation, basically. And this card, both of these cards, if you take a look. We have that moon manifestation. We have that moon, that huge moon that represents, um, it represents, yes, creation. It represents, and then also Pentacles represents fertility. It represents bringing things into, from the spiritual realm, the bringing things from the heavens, and it also represents like as above, so below, right? So whatever you can think of, whatever you can create and manifest and envision in your mind can be brought into this physical existence. And if you see this lady with the seven of Pentacles, she has she's reaping the benefits of her ideas and her creativity that she's channeled with her vision, with her, it's 2018. Me and my sister, we started off doing a vision board, okay? So when you think of the vision board concept, a lot of times you think about you're envisioning something. Like me, based on the things that I cut out of the magazine, it almost kind of gave me all these different ideas of things that I wanted, and all of that, it created um, a big picture of all of these things that I want to accomplish and achieve by the end of the year, just in the future. And we can all reflect on those who have created vision boards, how we can reflect back that year following and look back and see all of the things that we manifested and created and brought into this physical existence. So that is what's so powerful about this card, is that it's about patience. It's about understanding the laws of the universe, the law of attraction, understanding that there's a process, and, not always wanting, but knowing that these things are coming into fruition, and that you just need to be patient, match that frequency of that of which you want to achieve or want to bring into fruition, and allow the patience, okay? Allow the time to grow, right? Like when you plant a tree, if you plant a seed, the next day you're not going to see that plant bloom. You're not going to see a tree the next week, right? It takes a long time for a seed to become a plant, to become a tree. It's a process. There's different cycles that you have to go through, different experiences that you have to go through to actually see that seed turn into a tree. So this is what Seven of Pentacles is all about, okay? Having patience, not being too hard on yourself, working when the work is due, you know what I'm saying? And then when you've done all of the work and there's nothing else you can do, then all it is, you see her, she's just chilling. She's just waiting patiently to see her reaping the fruit, that she's bared. And so in a nutshell, this is all representative of intuition, trusting yourself, taking control of your situations in your life by managing your emotions, understanding that the environment can also affect how we feel, and taking that time to pause and stop and just observe emotions before you act off of them. And then, understanding the power of manifestation,